Hi people, it's Archivist here, and today I'm still playing Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Wow, has this game taken me by surprise. The Call of Duty that I disavowed, the one that I skipped, that I decried as being one of the worst entries in the series, I guess purely based on the bandwagon that was going around at the time, I am now finding myself really liking. Do I think it's what every Call of Duty game should be? Absolutely not. I like this game on its own merits, just as being its own thing. In fact, throw away the COD concept and just enjoy it for what it is. This game, which is in some small ways reminiscent of the likes of Unreal Tournament. It's so mobile, so fast and ferocious that it really gets me in my fast food desire for multiplayer. And that's the thing about me. I have to admit a guilty pleasure for exceptionally fast-paced shooters online. I remember I used to play a lot of, mentioning it, Unreal Tournament 3 when that came out on PlayStation 3. And I really liked, again, just the quick nature of it. It wasn't really cover-based. It was about just moving around and trying to dodge missiles while firing them back at your enemy. And this feels sort of similar to that. Not quite the same thing because the time to kill is so low, but it's getting me there. And what I like about this is that Modern Warfare, the beta that I played, is so different from this kind of game that I can see them and appreciate them for completely different reasons. And I think this is something that we missed a little bit when this game came out. Because we had advanced movement for so long by this point, we'd had it in Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and then Infinite Warfare, there was a concern, I believe, at the time that this was COD now. Every Call of Duty title was going to be fast-paced, and it was going to have advanced movement, and it had completely lost what made COD 4 great. Even COD 2, COD 3. Does anyone really like COD 3? COD 2, I know there's a massive fan base for, but you get what I'm saying. But if we see it in the grander context of the entire series, we now know that this was merely a phase within the Call of Duty franchise. It was a 3-series phase that ended with World War II stopping it and going back to basics, and then even Black Ops 4 decided to take away the advanced movement, and it did focus on some new stuff, but advanced movement was gone. So I can kind of appreciate this game as its own thing, in its own little bubble, and think I am glad that they made something a bit different, because had they have played it safe and never done advanced movement, we would have had a lot of very similar games in a row for Call of Duty. So even though at the time for many it was quite frustrating, I think in the grander scope of looking back on my library and seeing these various COD titles that I might like to play, I mean, say I'm choosing between Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. They are both, in my opinion, great games and a lot of people love them, but between the two, there's not a lot. They're very similar titles, but if I compare, say, Modern Warfare 2 to Infinite Warfare, these are two starkly different experiences. And then if we have Black Ops 4, that too is very different. And although I have had a lot of bad things to say about Black Ops 4 because of the terrible loot boxes, if we just focus on a moment for the gameplay, the high time to kill and the focus on specialist abilities, although not everyone likes these changes, as we look back on the series, it will be remembered as something that did something a little different. Maybe not something that everyone liked, but something that we can go back to and think, yeah, there's something that makes this Call of Duty distinct from the one I'm playing right now. And I think Call of Duty Modern Warfare might be a response to perhaps them doing too many different things to try and shake up the franchise, shall we say, and people are very happy that they're going back to what it was, but I am glad that we can look at this anthology of games and see experiences that are quite different. It means that some people will definitely have their favourites, some that they like, some that they don't like, but if you're someone who likes this series for the variety that it can sometimes add, well, I think it's a benefit, and that's what I feel like Infinite Warfare is really showing me, is that, yes, these are all similar games in terms of the fact they have, kill streaks or score streaks, they have domination, team deathmatch, they have the same modes, but in terms of those subtle gameplay mechanics, there are some differences now. It's a franchise that is quite colourful, quite textured even, and I'm just taking a moment to realise that, look, this franchise has its problems, and Activision have certainly, done some things to prevent it from being something truly revered. But at the same time, at its very core, in terms of what makes it fun to play, there is something truly special with this franchise. And I am really looking forward to Modern Warfare, again, despite some of the controversies we're hearing. Because look, I'm enjoying Infinite Warfare right now, and yet when it was coming out, it had one of the worst backlashes I've seen for any game. Certainly much worse than what's happening right now for Modern Warfare. So I look back to history and realise, look, do I actually end up enjoying these games despite the negative buzz that can sometimes be there before they come out? And the reality is yes, because the core gameplay is good. And it makes you wish, I suppose, that Activision were a publisher that just, I don't know, they are funding these games, so I can't hate them entirely, but you wish they would stop getting in their own way, because the developers they have in Sledgehammer, in Infinity Ward and Treyarch, they are exceptionally talented people. They're great storytellers, they're great gameplay designers, great animators, great artists, and it's a real shame that they have to throw in these things like exclusive content to one particular console, to loot boxes, things of this nature, because if they weren't doing this, this could easily be one of the most praised, revered franchises out there. I think it would probably still get some flack just because it's a yearly release, and when something's a yearly release, it can make people a little bit tired of it, but it's this real split between this fabulous DNA that Call of Duty has against the slightly sinister, if you will, management of its monetization. And although I am rambling a little bit, and I'm sort of simultaneously taking shots at the franchise as well as praising it here, but the point is I'm setting up a little bit of a mini announcement in that I have had very little direction on my channel for, well, literally years. It was only really the first 2 years of me setting it up that I thought I'm going to be reviews and top fives, but that time has long passed simply because, unfortunately, with my full-time job being quite demanding, I just don't have the time to script, edit, and then get all the footage for those videos. I need to have something more efficient. And thankfully, commentating over Call of Duty gameplay is one of the easiest kinds of videos I think anyone can make, because you literally just have to record the footage and then talk into a microphone. There's a reason it's such a popular thing, both amongst viewers but also content creators. It's just such a straightforward thing to do, right? But this sort of makes it perfect for me to use as maybe an element of consistency on this channel. That doesn't mean I'm not going to talk about anything other than Call of Duty, but it does mean that I am sort of thinking about planning on making this at least for the moment, a Call of Duty centric channel. So for the time being, I'm probably going to make some more Infinite Warfare videos, give a little bit of a commentary over them, not necessarily going to be about the game, it might be something completely random, maybe it'll be some life stuff, I don't know, I haven't really done too much of that before, but I can see this being a decent format for that kind of thing. So that's sort of my plan, that's my thinking right now, just based on what I've been making videos about recently, and it's just been working for me. It's been very time efficient. I've enjoyed making them. I like capturing the footage because, of course, I'm enjoying playing the game I'm actually getting the footage from, so it just works in a lot of ways for me. It's also quite a divisive thing to cover because, of course, Call of Duty is sort of simultaneously extremely popular, but also it has a lot of spicy moments, and I think that's kind of important for any kind of topic, because I don't just want to sit here praising something forever. I want to actually sometimes criticize it, point out the things that could maybe be better. Otherwise, it gets a little bit one-dimensional. So the very fact that it is not maybe the most morally perfect franchise in the world makes it, to me, even more appealing as a topic to cover. Also, I suppose the only thing that made me resistant to this is that I am not the best player in the world. I have some good games, I have some decent matches, I can usually go positive on KD, though I think it's important, especially in things like domination, not to get too hung up on that. It's more about how you're contributing. So I'm not the best player in the world, but hopefully if I just keep doing this, I will naturally get a bit better. I also don't think I'm the worst player in the world. Like I think if I was just coming at the bottom of the losing team every time, yeah, maybe then I wouldn't. But maybe if you're just a kind of like an average, decent player like me, maybe that will actually resonate with you more. I suppose I'll need to wait a bit before I actually want to start giving out advice on best loadouts, best perks, best weapons, because I'm someone who very much learns at their own pace, which is a bit of a euphemism for I learn slowly. So that's all I have today. As always, people, thanks so much for watching and see you next time.